Very good. Well, I am privileged to be able to introduce our day chair today. Our day chair is Steve Rafke. Steve has been a Rotarian for almost 50 years. First in the Brainerd Club, and since 1991 here at the greatest Rotary Club in the world, City of Lakes Rotary. Now, Steve says he's in his third career. I am counting 5 because I went back and pulled his resume offline. He was a law clerk for Justice Fallon Kelly at the Minnesota Supreme Court. That's a big deal, and Steve didn't even put that in his bio. I had to find that. He was Minnesota Senate counsel assigned to the Judiciary Committee. And then he was an attorney in Brainerd and was the Crow Wing County attorney from 1975, when he was just a teenager, obviously, until 1991. Steve was appointed by the governor during that time to the Sentencing Guidelines Commission in 1978, and he served on the Guidelines Commission until 1991 and served as its chair from 1982 to 1986. Steve has also been a trial attorney here in Minneapolis with the law firm of Lohman Abdo, from which he retired in 2014. And now in his final career, he's providing free legal services to low-income people. Steve is a volunteer for Voluntary Lawyers Network in the area of tenant rights and criminal expungement, and he is employed. I'm not sure, there we go. 2 days a week with Homeline, and he gives legal advice. We'll switch mics here. And I think, Steve, that you also do arbitrations and mediation. So multi-talented Steve Rafke, good to have you here as our day chair today, Steve.
But I forgot my glasses, so I may stumble a bit. LeAnn Rasachak is the CEO of WomenVenture, and Carey Kammerer is a WomenVenture client and the founder of WildFlyer Coffee in Minneapolis. For more than 40 years, WomenVenture has provided women of all ages, cultures, races, and income levels with the tools and resources to achieve economic success through small business ownership. LeAnn is a graduate of the University of St. Thomas. And throughout her career, LeAnn has focused on consumer retail and financial services with an emphasis on brand building and digital transformations. She is highly passionate about the organization, its mission, and its long-term impact on the community. Supporting women business owners to thrive and solving the childcare crisis is deeply important to LeAnn. WildFlyer Coffee makes coffee to serve and support youth experiencing homeless needs. So it's more than just a business. Carey Kammerer is the co-founder and CEO of WildFlyer Coffee, a social enterprise that creates employment opportunities for youth experiencing homelessness. Carey has nearly a decade of experience as a licensed social worker, which informs and inspires much of the work she does with WildFlyer. Previously, she served as a shelter advocate and case manager, managed a drop-in center, and conducted street outreach on behalf of organizations fighting youth homelessness and housing instability across the country. So LeAnn and Carley will share more about WomenVenture services and how WomenVenture supports women in all stages of the journey of building small businesses. So let's give a nice welcome to both of them.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. It's so wonderful to see you. I will say this is a really fun group, especially this early in the morning on a snowy day. So it's wonderful to see your faces. Thank you so much for for hosting us here today. I will say, so I have a blended family of 4 children, 9, 8, 4, and almost 2 years old. And we sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat almost on a daily basis. So I'm glad that we were able to warm up with that today. Okay, so what we'd like to be able to do is share a little bit of context around WomenVenture, who we are, what we do, and then share the mic and the platform with Carley, because the story of Wildfire Coffee is incredible and really is making a tremendous community impact. And I would encourage you to set up kind of your coffee dates and lunches over at WildFlyer Coffee in South Minneapolis, because it's a fantastic coffee shop. So as mentioned, WomenVenture, we've been around for more than 40 years and helping women create and grow sustainable businesses. WomenVenture started out as an organization to help women enter or re-enter the workforce, and using domestic responsibilities, translating that into a resume to be able to enter the workforce or re-enter. And who would have thought that 40 years later, that we would be an organization that's focused on women entrepreneurship and women business owners. Okay, thank you. Our mission, vision, and our values, right? So to be able to, is it okay if I take this mic off of the, thank you. Our mission, vision, and values, right? So we talk about being able to empower women and provide sustainable, growing businesses. Our vision is a world where women-owned businesses are the economic engine that helps to power our world. And our values of inclusion, impact, and innovation are grounded in everything that we do. The next slide is going to speak to you a little bit about the stats that are in the current marketplace here. When we talk about women and business owners, and these are numbers across the US. So the number in terms of small business ownership, 40% of small businesses, we've seen that number continue to increase exponentially, actually during the pandemic and post-pandemic as we enter this time period. That is due to both the flexibility of being able to create your own schedule, turn your side hustle into a full-time role, and also as an outcome of what most of us in the room, I think, have heard of, the Great Resignation, right? Being able to make different choices to provide flexibility for your family. Childcare, as we've talked about kind of early in the introduction, has been a critical component of why the shift is happening to provide that flexibility for families. And I would say it's childcare and overall caregiving. So often you're seeing women in a position where it's of the sandwich generation, where we're providing care for our parents, we're providing care for our children, and really need to find some flexibility in income of what we're driving and bringing home. So the numbers in terms of access to capital are still fairly low. And this is something that continues to challenge women business owners. And if there's anything that you walk away from today when talking about what WomenVenture does and who we serve, there's 4 critical pieces from my perspective that WomenVenture helps women both to meet the challenge and also to find resources and solutions through us. The first piece is around venture readiness, right? So oftentimes we hear that women go into a business pitch or go into a bank to receive funding, and the funding is declined, often because there isn't a business plan. So we help to create the business plan and technical assistance to help women entrepreneurs and business owners become venture ready. The second is around capital access, right? So the ability to be bankable. We want to help women both build or rebuild credit, and then also demonstrate that they are able to loan funds, which I should take a step back. WomenVenture is a community development financial institution, an economic development agency. We loan up to $100,000 at this point in time. My hope is to continue to grow that overall loan amount and increase our loan fund. What's in the suite of loan products includes traditional loans, small dollar loans, so starting at $2,500. Oftentimes we find that $2,500 to be enough to get started, to help with marketing, particularly for our childcare providers. It helps to childcare providers who have in-home care. That dollar amount is enough for them to get started. So venture readiness, capital access, childcare. We work with both childcare in-home providers and daycare centers to help recognize the business as a business, operationalize it, market it, and grow it and scale. And that as part of childcare is not only helping to grow the providers that are in the state of Minnesota. So if you look at just this Twin Cities metro area, there are more than 100,000 open childcare slots that are needed. And we have seen during the pandemic an exit of childcare providers for a variety of reasons: high cost of operating because of the pandemic, people who are retiring from the industry, and challenges in terms of wages. The average childcare provider and staff pay roughly about $15 an hour. Taco Bell down the street from my home in Invergrove Heights pays $15 an hour. Target a mile away from my home is starting to pay $24 an hour. So you can see that it's become an incredibly competitive space to be able to secure talent and people to work in childcare. And the need is higher than it's ever been. Minnesota is also considered a childcare desert. There are not enough locations within greater Minnesota for people to be able to seek affordable and high quality childcare. And the impact of that is affecting businesses as well. So the last piece is around sponsorship, which I think in this room, I know there are sponsors, mentors, allies to help to support women business owners. So sponsorship looks like mentorship, having a contact, having someone to be a sounding board to give you business advice, but it is also about the person in the room that knows about where the deal is happening. There are venture funds that are in our backyard that can help to support local businesses. And WomenVenture has a lot of those relationships, or we know people who know people. So how can we help connect business owners like Carly into where those funds are, where those incubator spaces exist, so that you can grow and scale your business, or that you can also try out and test new pieces of your business model that you would like to see. So we'll go on to the next slide to speak to community impact. And so the numbers, I talked about venture readiness, capital access, childcare, sponsorship, but what does that actually mean? So this slide goes through our fiscal year ends at the end of June. This gives you a sense for how many people we serve, how many loans we are able to disperse. And by the way, we also are partially funded by the Small Business Administration. So we are deploying deed grants. We are deploying COVID relief dollars as well. And so that you'll see the spike here in 2019 and 2020 in terms of people served across the immediate years here. All right, let's flip through to the next page. So the pillars of success, what we do, how we deliver these things, in-depth training. I spoke to the access to capital, and you'll see in a couple of slides what more detail around the products, one-on-one expert advice, and community of support. So we do find that with our business owners, each person's journey is different. They may come to us to say, I need help with the business plan. Others will say, I have 3 different businesses. They're all under 3 different brands, and I need to figure out how to operationalize this. Can you help me? We're hearing from more people outside of the state of Minnesota that say, this doesn't exist. WomenVenture doesn't, there's not an entity that is similar to WomenVenture that exists in my market. I'm coming to you because I would like peer support. I would like to be able to talk with someone that's gone through this experience and or can be right there alongside me so that we're coaching and sharing information together and on this journey together. So the next few slides go over in depth the different courses and training that we have. They're usually set up in a cohort model, and you'll be going through these programs from anywhere between 6 weeks to 12 weeks, depending on the stage you are in your business. We serve entrepreneurs that are just starting out, all the way through mature small businesses that are making more than $1 million in revenue. So there's a path for everyone that's been identified. And what we try to do is meet you where you are and kind of fill in what those needs may look like with not only the training, but the peer circle support and mentors. We have more than 150 volunteers. Next slide. So and we'll go through these slides fairly quickly. Again, it's just to provide some detail around what we do, the structure of the courses, and the length of time. We have a specific childcare tracks. Childcare is a highly regulated industry. It requires a different kind of business model and approach. And so that's an entirely different lane within our core capabilities. And then the access to capital piece. I think the only other, so in terms of loan products, what I would highlight, so I said small business loans up to $100,000, the small dollar loans at $2,500, Sharia acceptable financing options for the Muslim community. We are seeing high interest in this program and able to implement some early pilot loans. And then lines of credit. So total loan exposure up to $100,000, and it could be a mixture of loan products within that portfolio for clients. Next slide. One-on-one business advice, as I mentioned, 150 volunteers, and we have volunteers across different industries and networks. So we're able to match you where you are. Some people will say, I'm really strong on the marketing side. I don't need support, but what I do need is help with my bookkeeping and operations. And so we can match you to that. Next slide. In our community of support, we've got our peer circles, our mentors, business advice. You can engage WomenVenture for one-on-one business consulting or choose to go through the cohort model. And then this pandemic effect slide speaks to our overall financial performance during COVID. The number of grants provided and loans through deed. As an economic development agency, we also help to administer Hennepin County grants. And then training highlights, right? So right now, training is at an all-time high. Demand, we're trying to determine, we pivoted really well to virtual at the beginning of the pandemic, and now looking at how do you deliver online and in person. We are seeing clients that want to meet and be able to connect in person and go through that curriculum. So we see that we're able to expand our content, but what we need is to build up from a capacity building perspective, more of our staff. We're currently a staff of 25 people at WomenVenture based in St. Paul. We want to grow that headcount to be able to meet the demand of the marketplace. And then we do have a scholarship program. So in most cases, for women who want to go through our courses, we do have a match. And we'll provide scholarship funding for our clients. And I think that is the last slide from WomenVenture. So I'm going to hand it off to Carley. Carley will tell and share her story as our client, as well as the WildFlyer Coffee story.
Thank you. Here we go. Okay, are we just. It's lighting up. Feels like it should be on. There we go. All right, before I start, I just want to introduce you to Lucy. Lucy was a youth in our program back in 2020 and 2021 now. And Lucy first became homeless when she was 11. Her dad passed away, and her mom, due to mental health and substance abuse issues, kind of abandoned the family. And Lucy would go on to spend about the next 8 to 9 years bouncing between foster care, host homes, couch hopping, sleeping outside and shelter, trying to keep up with school. She shared that the only reason she really went to school was because it was her only guaranteed space to eat for the day. She eventually dropped out of high school altogether because, as you can imagine, it's hard to be homeless and be in high school. Lucy is one of the 6,000 youth who experience homelessness every night in Minnesota alone. And as, okay, we'll just leave it there. And as said, my name is Carley, and I'm a founder of WildFlyer Coffee, and my mission in life is to get that number down to 0. So I have about 10 years of experience working in the youth world in various roles, and something that I was seeing in all of my clients was this kind of common cycle where young people were reliant on system help to get into any sort of supportive housing situation. They would then probably get a job, face a ton of barriers to keeping employment, lose that job, and relapse right back into homelessness and systemic intervention. So there's just really no out. And I grew frustrated with that because nobody wants to be homeless. Nobody wants to be stuck in systems that aren't working. And to me, I saw a huge need for just helping young people break down barriers to keeping employment. And a lot of this revolves around really basic soft skills. They might not know how to communicate, how to deal with conflict, how to deal with their mental health. They're coming into work. We have youth coming into work with their belongings in trash bags because they slept outside last night. So how do you create an environment where youth can thrive like that? I wasn't really able to find a lot of businesses willing to take on the risk of employing my clients. And so I just thought someone should do this. And then I thought I should do it. And here we are today. We are like in the introduction said, we're a nonprofit coffee company, and our mission is to create employment opportunities and cultivate life skills for youth experiencing homelessness. Our vision is to end youth homelessness through employment opportunities. We do this at our coffee shop in South Minneapolis. We do it through a 6-month paid work and life skills training program. So all of the youth in our program work about 20 hours a week on the floor. That gives them paid, they take home a paycheck. There's a lot of dignity in work, a lot of confidence that comes from that, and a place to really learn and practice those skills we talked about: communication, teamwork, dealing with that customer that we all love to hate, all of that. Coinciding with the paid employment is a series of personal and professional skills classes. So we do things like financial literacy, digital literacy, mental health in the workplace, a lot of things designed to break down those barriers that keep youth from being successful. And then we work to place them into employment after they leave our program and support them for up to 6 more months to ensure a smooth transition. We are a social enterprise, so our funding model is a little unique. We are a nonprofit, but 70% of our income comes from earned revenue through online and shop sales. And then the rest is donated dollars, which covers things like having a social worker on staff that a normal coffee company does not have. And if you are wondering where Lucy ended up, she has been stably employed now for over a year. I actually just visited her at her new job site last week. She also got into an apartment, and she calls it the Castle. It's a very small studio, but it's the first thing she's owned that's her own. So it's very special for her. We've achieved about a 70% success rate of youth who leave our program and maintain housing and employment or some sort of post-secondary education opportunity. And we expect to see that number increase as we've kind of overhauled our program and added in some more supportive services. So I got connected with WomenVenture last year through one of the women who teaches their class. And I joined the Accelerating Success class. And at that time, we had just opened our brick and mortar, and I was really overwhelmed. We'd gone from a small coffee cart to suddenly huge budget, staff, just a big scale up. And the way it really, really helped me was the financial component. So I'm a social worker, so suddenly I'm in the business world and people are like, what's your budget? Show us your P&L. And I'm like, I don't know what P&L is. What are you saying to me? And that's embarrassing as a executive to show up to board meetings and, donor meetings. And I muddled through. I'm not sure how I got through, but the class just really helped give me confidence in that area to learn how to read your statements and understand cash flow in this context of supportive women. There is no question too small or too dumb. Really obviously changed my confidence level and then just my ability to make informed decisions based off of real financial data that I couldn't really understand before that class. It helped with networking opportunities. We needed to hire a social media person a couple months ago, and I reached out to a woman in the class who's in the marketing sphere. So I was getting kind of networked in the Twin City with other women doing great things that can benefit Wildflyer. And then just kind of the personal support I received. I think for me, starting this business when I was 24, and there was just like a huge personal shift. I felt very overwhelmed. I felt kind of alone out there. And so just having this group of women that were really like cheering me on and supporting me personally made a huge difference in how I was able to show up at work. And so I really benefited from WomenVenture. And I think, as you can see, like through them, more youth experiencing homelessness in the Twin Cities are being served today because of how it's impacted WildFlyer Coffee. So that is us. What? The video. we can. Where did I send that to you? Oh, is it just in my, oh, we have a video. This is the most planned part of the day. We do have a video of our manifesto. Yeah, we can show that.
Why do we make coffee? Here, we don't just make coffee because it tastes good, but because it does good. Because it wakes us up and jolts open our eyes, even when we don't like what we see. We make coffee because we can't sleep. Not while thousands of youth spend the night in shelters, on trains, in cars, and on the street. We make coffee because we're tired of one-of-a-kind youth trapped in the same old cycles, tired of seeing their wild hearts broken, tired of looking away. We make coffee to serve, not just the beverages people want, but to support youth experiencing homelessness need. We help youth find their footing and support them if they stumble. We help them see it's what they deserve. We make coffee so they can fly. Take a sip and let's soar.
Check out this Verbo. Oh, man.
It's on Minnehaha, 32nd and Minnehaha. If you're familiar with Peace Coffee, it's where their former shop was.
Do people, I'm going to jump in with a question.
Yeah, please do.
Do people, when they go there, do they realize that they just stumble in and just think you're another coffee shop, or do they know you're special and what your real mission is?
Every time I do a customer survey, it's pretty clear that people come because of the mission, and they know it's like posted on the walls and above our doorway. It says end youth homelessness. So I hope they know.
Thing that they, when they serve their coffee, that tells your story?
Yes, I have a meeting with a marketing person this afternoon to help me come up with collateral for the shop. We'd like to have some stuff on the tables and a little bit more.
It's a great story.
Thank you. Yeah.
Telling it.
Just curious how you're identifying your youth and where the youth are coming from. If there's a connection with a different organization, just how are you doing that?
Yeah, we typically referral based from other youth serving agencies that are working with youth experiencing homelessness. We do have some youth that come from like word of mouth or just finding us, but we're finding a little bit more success when they're connected with like a housing case manager, so we can kind of provide those wraparound services, and the house, the referral source can kind of screen if this young person is ready for like a 6-month commitment, because it's more in depth than other services.
For those of us who don't live nearby, and it would be kind of a hike to get there, do you roast your own beans that you sell, or have other ways that we can support you?
We do, yes. We have an online store. So we can do like one-off orders, and we have a subscription service as well. And that is a really beautiful way to support us because profit margins are a lot better. I learned that in my WomenVenture class.
I have a question for WomenVenture. How do the women who are starting a business or thinking of it find out about you? Is it word of mouth, or do you go out and tell groups like, yay?
Yeah, great question. So how do women find us? It is through word of mouth. I would say kind of 50 to 60% through entrepreneurs, small business owners who've gone through the experience. It's through speaking engagements like this. Over the last 40 years, we've served about more than 100,000 women, right? So we're really relying on that network to both re-engage. We have business owners that can circle back and help with the mentorship, but then also serve as brand advocates for us. We have a really robust community of board members as well. And so we try to work all the social networks, both in person, but then also virtually as well. One thing I wanted to share about WildFlyer Coffee. So Carly also puts together really beautiful gift bundles. I've seen that over the holidays. I will say in terms of thanking teachers, it's a wonderful gift. We've got some really good feedback from our teachers about a little gift package from Wildfire.
Yeah, thank you both for coming. That was a great program. I'm familiar with WomenVenture, great organization. I have been able to attend your annual luncheon gala, yes. But haven't in a few years. Do you still have that? Because you had great speakers and really were well attended.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I appreciate that pre-promo because we're actually talking about the event this year. And so historically, it has been a business luncheon. This year, it's going to be a gala. So we're going to shift from a daytime format to an evening format. We've received feedback, particularly from the business community, that it's been at the Minneapolis Convention Center. It's tricky to get there in the middle of the day. We have more people returning to downtown, but tough to get away during the day. We also have a vendor marketplace. So it allows people to shop prior to the event, sit with us for the program and hear the great stories and speakers and hear about our mission. We're shifting that. We're targeting early November 5th, actually, it's a Saturday for an evening gala event. So watch for that. We're happy to share more information once we have the details ironed out.
Go back here to Anna.
Good morning. I love seeing other women helping other women. It's wonderful. It's not a question, it's more of a comment or suggestion. We also work with Junior Achievement, and they have special programs or cohorts that they started this year. One of them is specific to females. And this is just young females who are creating their own businesses. And some of them actually after that program go into maintaining that business. So I think it would be, might be an opportunity for you to connect with them. And we are happy to make that connection for you so you can help other females through that program too.
I love that suggestion. Thank you very much. So I didn't mention this at the beginning. I recently started as a CEO of WomenVenture about 5 months ago. I sat on the board for almost 4 years. I come from financial services, RBC Wealth Management and Securian. Both organizations have very strong partnerships with Junior Achievement. I would welcome the invitation. Building that pipeline of female entrepreneurs and business owners starts young, right? And we want to be able to connect in early on and demonstrate that this is possible. And we want to connect you with business owners who are doing it and leaders who are doing it now, which I think is really important so that they can see other opportunities.
From the chat, Karen asks, LeAnn, what has been the response to your work on supporting childcare initiatives? Are there any special ways you're working to reach prospective childcare business owners?
Great question. Thank you, Karen. So there's it's a two-part answer. The feedback has been both really positive from childcare providers and some of the programs that we've launched and that we're testing. So similar to Carley's experience, it is starting with kind of small business essentials and building out the business plan and operational model. But what WomenVenture has also created in the last year is called a program. It's a program, called Your Venture. And Your Venture encompasses technology platforms that include QuickBooks, right? So helping to manage your bookkeeping in a more automated digital fashion. And through Bright Wheel, which is a communications tool with parents, your clients and customers, right? So to be able to say, you know, for my son Bennett, how was Bennett doing today in school? What did he eat? How well did he do? Are there any behavioral things that we need to address, right? So being able to do that in real time via technology gives back the administrative kind of housekeeping piece to the childcare provider. She is typically working 12-hour days and then adding on that admin piece. And so any way that we can help give back that time for her mental health, for time with her family is really important, making a positive impact. And then also helps women to understand that this is how we help to operationalize the business and that you can do this. It doesn't all have to be manual. And there are resources out there for you. That's been really positive. In the community, there has been a tremendous response to seeing WomenVenture not only help childcare providers in building their experience, but then it's also, we are looking at a feasibility study and a pilot to be able to partner with communities on creating physical building space for childcare providers in-home to move from in-home to a space where they can potentially share it with other childcare providers. So this pod model where you can share the facility, a muscle room, playground, kitchen, and sharing the cost, right? So that helps to make it a little bit more approachable if you want to move out of your home, which we're hearing from childcare providers. I live where I work where I live, and I really need some separation. And that would be a component of helping the childcare providers stay in the space.
I have a question with regard to just lending and the industry in general, and where you see your niche to be. And it could be that the childcare is a niche that you have, but contrast yourself to like MEDA and other organizations that are out there, and where you fit into it.
Sure. MEDA is a great partner of ours. Alfredo Martello has been a warm welcome and partner in the economic development agency space. And they are significantly bigger than we are, just in terms of loan fund, $200 million. The loans that they're providing are usually in the space of $1 million to $2 million as a target. You know, we're at $100,000 right now. So kind of smaller player in the market. I think that we have the ability to grow over the course of the next few years, and really being able to, part of my role coming in is crystallizing a roadmap for WomenVenture. How do we continue to remain relevant for the next 10, 20, 30 years? I think a part of how we do that is looking at the loan product portfolio that we had. We want to continue to grow new and innovative products. And that is based on client feedback that we're receiving. What needs that they have. And oftentimes when they are ready to graduate beyond us, there needs to be a bridge, right? So those partnerships are really, really critical. We'd like to be able to serve that role that says, there are additional resources to you. Let me make an introduction to MEDA. We have many bank partners who are also at the table with us. And we're able to demonstrate with business owners, once they kind of graduate from us, they've established strong credit. They've established that history that's needed to be bankable. At that point in time, our work isn't finished, but that component of it is. And so I see us in terms of growth, expanding our loan fund, expanding the ability to loan more. And that will be over time. And then, you know, strong partnership where we serve women, we serve people of color. I know that MEDA specifically helps everyone in the BIPOC community. We want to make that bridge again, right? So that's our role in this space.
Any other questions for online? All right.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great. We appreciate having both of you with us. In commemoration of your speaking today, we will ask you to sign a book, which will go to a third grader through the Way to Grow program, so that they can have a book of their own that's signed by leaders in our community. And then for you, we have a bookmark made by a group that we support in Haiti, so that you can take that as a reminder of your speaking with us today. And we really do appreciate you being here. Remember about signing up for April 28th for the forum. I will send a reminder out as well. Sign up early. Don't wait till the end, because we would hate for you not to be able to get in. I want to thank Blake Shelton for the reflection today, Gary Mosman for the song, Jonathan Pine for being our greeter, of course, Brock and Ross, our Zoom masters, and Mary Pat, thank you for getting everybody checked in. You will want to be here again next week. We have Lisa Schlosser with us, Empowering Women in Tech. Thank you all for being here today, and have a great Rotary week.